We're looking at photos here taken by Jim Oatley, who's a staff member here at Alice Springs Desert Park. My name's Lisa and I work on the zoology section here at Alice Springs Desert Park. We're going to take a look at the fairy wren species that you can find in Central Australia. This lovely bird here with an insect in its beak is a male splendid fairy wren. Splendid fairy wrens are primarily found in the arid parts of Australia, and they have this stunning blue colour all over them when they're coloured up males. Fairy wrens live in groups, small family groups, up to about 10 birds, and most of the birds will be a very dull brown colour. It's usually only one male in the group that has this beautiful blue coloration, and they'll actually molt out of that coloration in the non-breeding season. So it's sometimes called nuptial plumage, and it's much safer for these birds to not be quite so obvious in the non-breeding season, so they'll lose that coloration and molt into a plumage that is much more closer to the dull brown of the females. In breeding season, however, these birds are really spectacular. And you can see wild splendid fairy wrens here at Alice Springs Desert Park. There's a group in the courtyard, one in sand country. You can also see them in aviaries in the woodland area. They're one of 3 species of fairy wren that you can find in Central Australia. One of the others is the white-winged fairy wren. This is a stunning example of a male here. Again, as with all the fairy wrens, the females are much duller in colour. These white-winged fairy wrens are not typically seen particularly close to Alice Springs, but tend to be further out of town in spinifex habitats and salt marsh sort of habitats. And this last one here is the 3rd species we get in Central Australia, which is a variegated fairy wren. It's the most widespread of the species, but there are a number of different subspecies, so they look slightly different here in Central Australia than elsewhere. And they have a lovely purple tinge to their back there. They're the only one of the local species that has that rusty red colour in the male's plumage. And you can see some of these birds in our Desert Rivers walk-through aviary.